Blessings be upon you, my seers, my viewers, my listeners. Shh. You hear that? Shh. You hear that? The tweeting. The tweeting of the beautiful birds. The tweeting of the beautiful birds. Nothing brings more clarity in human perception than to be surrounded with the nature, the first hand things on which humans' energy is not invested. Because sadly and unfortunately, most of us humans, whatever we touch, we mess it up, you see. And we are destroying, unfortunately, this planet on a tremendous speed because we have become selfish. We we think and we live in the illusion that heaven or paradise is something outside of us. Heaven or paradise is not a physical place where you would go because what you essentially are, there is no distance. Because what you essentially are, there is no what you essentially are, there is no distance in that. If you understand, there is no distance. There, as I remember, as I keep mentioning in numerous of my retreats, there is only one being which exists. Me and you, the pronouns according to English, but this is not an English class for you. Me and you, the pronouns basically take form and shape, but it's only the Brahman, only the awareness, only the sense of self awareness, only the consciousness is aware. Nothing else is aware, you see. You can download just about the entire knowledge of everything that there is to know if you make time for yourself every day, if you understand. If you make time for yourself every day and you learn to sit basically in a super silent corner, it's not very difficult thing to do, it's not very impossible thing to do. You do numerous amount of activities to make you happy, and you put and you bank and you put your faith and you put your trust everything outside of you. You see, you get involved in addiction in substances, you get involved in addiction in food, you get involved in addiction video games, you get even identify, you role play and you pretend that this is you. You have become so far from reality, you have become so far from transparency. The more farther you are from truth, the longer it would take you to achieve moksha. If you look at the title of this retreat, if you look at the title of this message from divinity, this message from sacred, this message from divine, whatever you want to call it, or whatever you want to title it, if you, my friend, look, blessings be on my viewers and seers, if you look at the title, you would realize there is Sanskrit written in the end of the title because the only language you understand is English. But for me, it's a different story. Anyway, this retreat or message from divine is not about me. So, what I'm saying to you, if you look at the title in the end, there is Sanskrit written, which obviously you cannot read until unless you are from certain parts of India. I won't even call it because India is huge. Until unless you are certain parts of India, it means moksha, it means mukti, it means salvation, It means ultimate liberation. After that, you are out of after that you are out of the cycle which you, you are bound because of your karma. But once you achieve moksha or mukti, if you are a religious person, yeah, then you can call it salvation. You see, there is nothing wrong with that. If you are a religious person, as long as you are well concerned with your well-being, that's it. That's the only thing I am concerned, that how concerned you are with your well-being, and the well-being of those around you, my loved ones, you see. So what I am saying, the farther you are away from the truth, the longer you would take birth over and over. You understand that? If this is what you want, you would literally take birth, you would do the samsara over and over and over and over and over. It would become longer and longer. You can expedite it by bringing clarity. And how you bring clarity, one of the most fundamental thing that just about everyone has access to, which is that you bring clarity. You surround yourself with nature, the grass, the mud, the plants, the air, you see, the sand, things like that, that human energy is not there. You see, you surround yourself with the things are provided to us by nature, you see, and you sit over there just sitting super silent. You see, do not move in, oh, I want to drink water, I want to have a cigarette, I want to go to the restroom, because there is something within you, there is something within your body which prompts you to be active all the time until unless you are asleep. Have you ever noticed that about your body? We the meditators and we the yogis know a lot about human body, you see, but you are going to transcend that, so you can sit at least. You see, meditation, the fundamental meditation is all about transcending human mind, which is the root of suffering and human body. You see, when it acts on the mind. You understand? So many crimes, unfortunately, are committed because people listen to the mind and they subscribe tremendous amount of significance. They think this is it, you see, and that gives birth, unfortunately, to crimes. You know that? I wouldn't classify what kind of crimes. You are intelligent enough, figure that out, isn't it? Just because they have subscribed tremendous amount of significance. Is mind important? Yes, a little. That's it. But if you are like that Daghar, but if you are like that Daghar, who was the Baghar? Baghar is a Hindi word basically. I'm just trying to bring some humor here in this retweet. Baghar means useless. But if you are like that French philosopher Descartes, um, basically he said, I think so, I exist. You see, that is the level of stupidity this person had. And he called himself so-called philosopher or real thinker. Real thinker don't even think. You see, don't they exist? So do not subscribe tremendous. So do not subscribe tremendous amount of significance to your mind, or you would come back over and over and over and over and over. You see, and you would keep accumulating karma. Do not become the car when you drive one. Do not become the iPhone when you use one. Do not become do not become Samsung when you use one. Do not become your laptop or Apple or Android operating systems when you use one. Do not become all of that. Use it through it. What was the name? The games, the video games, that tremendous amount of addiction that has even given birth now to virtual reality, that you role play, you cosplay and role play and this and that. All you a tremendous amount of activity you are performing so you can avoid life. Okay, well, it doesn't make any difference in my life because I do not avoid life. I face it. When you face it, you transcend karma. It's very simple. Karma, always remember the word remember. I always tell you that. Karma can only be transcended. Please keep that in mind. Karma can only and only be transcended when you face it. You see, if you escape karma, it wouldn't go anywhere. It's imprinted on you. You see, you go, it would go with you. You cannot escape karma. It's very simple. Understand all these things. You see, I bring clarity in your perception. How do I know all that? I don't read no books. I mean, I am a reader, but I'm not a rapid reader. I read every now and then anything which offers wisdom to me. That's one of the main reason I prescribed, I recommended a book by my mentor, Don Miguel Ruiz. And I basically recommended, I prescribed and I recommended a book which is called Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, who is my mentor. And if you read that book with open mind, that book literally is enough to liberate you. You see, I'm not joking with you. Beautiful book, brilliant wisdom. You see, that kind of stuff I read every now and then, but I do not mostly read. I just sit in the state of meditation, then I go in the state of samadhi. I don't even read scripts here. All my videos, all the messages from sacred and divinity are amateur. Amateur means without any planning, you see, just right then and there. Whatever it is, it would deliver. It's simple. That's the basic definition of amateur. And all my messages from sacred, all my messages from divinity are amateur. You see, I do not read or plan anything as soon as I just go live. You see me and you hear the words of the truth and wisdom, and I have a fluency. How do I have that? Because I surround myself in nature and I meditate, I sit super silent, and then I am given wisdom. Wisdom is always there. It's not that I'm trying to access, excuse me, it's not that I'm trying to wisdom. Sorry, the rubber band basically around my praying beads here of the Hinduism. You see, this here, these are the praying beads of Hinduism. This, so the rubber band basically around my praying beads that holds on that on my arm is slightly tight than I expected, but that's okay. So moving on. So I literally know wisdom is always there. Remember something, that's what I said. Wisdom is always there. It's not that you are trying to retrieve wisdom from somewhere. It's not that you are trying to retrieve wisdom from somewhere. Wisdom is always there, but unfortunately, it has been cluttered with the things that we have invested our faith. It has been cluttered. Right now, if I look at the sky, sadly, I would say, right now, if I look at the sky, sadly, I would say is overcast or cloudy. I'm not resisting nature. I embrace nature and I love nature, but I would prefer basically more sun. You see, sun, because I'm the sun god. So I would prefer more light and more sun and less darkness right now. Does this mean that sun didn't come out? You see, I'm asking you a question to bring some clarity. Does this mean that sun didn't come out? This is morning time, mind you. Right now, it's cloudy, clouds everywhere that I can see. But does this mean the sun didn't come out? You see, why it is dark? Still, sun is there. Sun is shining. Sun came out just about as it does. You see, sun came out as it does. But why it there is darkness? Why there is not sunlight reaching to us? You know why? Because it is cluttered with thick clouds. It's very simple. A child even can tell you that. I'm not telling you rocket science, but I'm trying to make a point. Sun is always there, but it was covered with clouds. That's why we see darkness, rather darkness. You see what I'm saying? This means just like that, wisdom is always there, but it is cluttered by lies that you have learned. Sadly and unfortunately, it is cluttered with lies, cluttered, super thick cluttering, unfortunately, of lies. So you take one by one every day when you sit in the meditation, surrounded by nature in super silent corner, and you watch out your breathing and do not board on any thoughts and try to band with sacred and divinity. Please make sure in your mind, please make sure in your mind that one day you take one lie, you take your faith out of one lie. One day maybe you take your faith out of religion, human construct lie, not coming from divinity, human made this. Okay, one day maybe you take your faith out of religion. Other day maybe you take faith out of that any which indicates any type of reality. That's the biggest lie. Third day maybe you can take your faith out. Third day maybe you can take your faith out from the lie that every one of us thinks the same. You see, we make it's an assumption. Assumption is a lie, and that's why before we even talk and give another person, another being a chance to demonstrate themselves, we have rejected them in our mind because we make the assumption everybody thinks the same. You see, just because I am thinking certain thing, that's why. Have you not ever noticed people who usually gossip, backbite, and spread poison? They always are looking on other people's shoulder that who is talking about them. Have you ever not noticed that? Do you see that? Have you have you not ever noticed that people who usually are gossiping about other people behind their back, people who are usually gossiping about other people behind their back, spreading lies, spreading rumors. These are small demons in this society, and they have physical form. They look human just like you and me. They even work and they earn living. You can call them just like you human, you see, but they are demons within because they thrill on differences, they thrill on drama, they thrill on fights and arguments. They think it's a saga and they feed on this. You see, I used to know a fella um up north when I was living in Washington State, and him he was a demon in the human form, and he was pathetic. Unfortunately, I mean, I have forgiven him. I don't want to deal with him at all. He brought so much misery in other people's life, and he would always be concerned if somebody's talking about him because he was talking about other people. You see what I'm saying to you? So take your faith out of lie that everybody thinks the same. The person who is a thief thinks everybody is a thief because the person himself is a thief. That's another example. A person, for example, if a person is a thief and steals, he always looks suspicious towards other human beings and he thinks they are just like him, thief too. So you make an assumption that everybody thinks the same, and you since you think ill, I'm not saying everybody does that. There are people who are fighting these negative traits like me and you, but there are also other people, they actually think ill for themselves first. They are miserable instead of spreading, excuse me, in order to spread misery for such negative demons, they have to be miserable in the very first place. It's not possible if you are fulfilled, contented, and happy with everything what's going on and you spread misery. It's not possible. You see, it's not natural, it's not possible. You only spread misery and poison and differences when you yourself are miserable. You see, it reflects. So these people in the very first place, they are suffering, and they, again, misery likes company. That's what the game is. And then they spread the misery around. So take your faith out of the lie that everybody thinks the same. Take your faith out. Take your faith out of the lie that everyone has the same mind frame. Believe me, this is the biggest lie. And this lie creates a lot of distances among humans. And this lie creates tremendous amount of differences among humans. Before, you don't get to see the beauty of the being is happening because you are thinking ill within you, and you are thinking this person is thinking ill about me too, and then you project on that person, and the person obviously is running out of patience, so the person give it back to you and then creates a fight, then creates argument and all that. You see, this is all wisdom, you see. So every day you take your faith out from one lie, take your faith out the second day, other lie, audit yourself, spend some time to focus what you are doing basically, and take your faith out one by one every day from the lies. And when you have got rid of all the lies, what remains is wisdom. Wisdom is given. Remember, read my lips or read her lips, whichever you like better. Remember something that was that sun is gonna come out today. Okay, thank you for letting me know. Remember something that wisdom is given to each one of us equally. Brahman, divinity, sacred, do not discriminate among creation. Discrimination on the behalf of color, unfortunately. Discrimination on the behalf of color. Discrimination, unfortunately, on the behalf of gender. These are abstract things. No gender is less significant than other. All the genders are the same. All the colors are the same. You see, for me, I have one eye. You see, it doesn't matter who, how you look, how you talk, how you walk, what accent you carry, where you came from, what's your family line, what's your family heritage, what's your history, basically, what border you came from. I do not pay attention to any of these things. That's why I'm so light. That's why I am pouring wisdom and it's never ending. You know, I live like a feather for the most part of my day. So take your faith out of the lies that you have learned and live in unity, live in peace with each other. Do not feed on differences and distances among humans. It's not going to take you anywhere. It's a sickness. Get rid of it. Do meditation. Surround yourself with nature. You see, I'm not telling you rocket science. I'm telling you what you were supposed to do. And as soon as you took the birth, as soon as you took the birth, as soon as you took the form on your birthday, after that you became conditioned again by other humans who were here before you. And then the same thing started. So do not move away, my loved ones. Always remember the sacred, always remember the divinity. You see, the divinity that sacred offers is the best thing that you would do to yourself and your beautiful, beautiful fellow humans around you and rest of the creation in unity and peace. I wish you all the unity and peace. I want to see happiness. I want to see you claiming your, excuse me, excuse me. I want to see you claiming your paradise lost, if you understand. I want to see you are claiming your paradise lost. You remember Milton? I think it was Milton from Britain, English, and he wrote paradise lost. So we have lost our paradise because we acquired, unfortunately, negative mind frame, the mind frame of possession and the mind frame of jealousy. And we became totally, unfortunately, overwhelmed with the lies. But there is still time. You can change your karma. You can turn your negative karma. You can turn your negative karma into positive karma. You understand? And and then you would become more happier by not being affected and making the right choice using your own free will. Using your own free will, you can change. Free will, you use your free will. You use your free will when you do not act under the influence of your past. You use free will when you do not act under the influence of your karma. You see, somebody says, I am addicted. You see, it's not easy to get rid of addiction. That's a lie. You can change your free will and not remember that the feeling it brought you. It's the feeling that you miss. That's why there are so many addictions. And you may change that by not missing the feeling, the memory of the result of abusing something, a substance or something like that. A person has addiction. I'm giving you an example. You can change that by using your free will. Do not use the addictions or any type of negative traits as an excuse. If you understand, do something about it, please, because this is the world and this is the time to make the change. If you do not like what you see, remember, I love you all equally. I always have and I always will, and I forgive you. But do the right thing, or at least make an attempt, or at least make an attempt to do the right thing. It's basically your choice. Try to do the right thing. Have good right intention. Sun, please, sun, Brahman, sun, sun, sacred sun. Give us some sunshine, Brahman. Give us some sunshine. That's all I ask for. Here, every day when you meditate, every breath when you are letting it go. Now, follow me. Every breath when you are letting it go, we are letting go of ourselves from this accumulation. You see, and every breath when we are inhaling, every breath when we are inhaling, every breath when we are going in, because it's us who is going out. Remember, we talked about that life, and it's us basically who is coming in. Namaskar. It's basically us when we are exhaling. When we are exhaling, it means it's us who is going out the life. When we are inhaling, it's us who is coming in. So every exhale, when we are exhaling, the life is going out. You see, us is going out, and we are letting go of the accumulation. But then we are going back and we are letting in to the accumulation. When we are letting into the accumulation, we are born on every breath we are taking in. So celebrate the day of your birth, you see. So celebrate the day of your birth. Celebrate the day of your happy birthday. You see, in the end of meditation, pay gratitude. All right, enough of the conversations, enough of the dialogues. Because remember something, we talk a lot, we share a lot of memes. We like to hear the words of truth and wisdom. We like to hear the truth from divinity and sacred, but we do not do practical, or we do very less practical. This is the time where we do practical and practical only. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some practical. Namaskar, 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 namaskar. This is a great example, by the way. You see, learn something from it. The noise basically which came out. This is a great example, by the way. Learn something from it. The noise, you see, they started the machine to trim. They started the machine to trim the grass, and this is fine because we must learn to coexist. So instead of being grumpy about the person, it's not his or her fault. This is a great example I'm teaching. It's not his or her fault. They are doing what they are supposed to do. They have to feed themselves, isn't it? But we are so agitated because we cannot take charge of our memory, imagination, and emotions, that just about anything which goes against, oh, I'm here trying to sit in the silence, as yes said, but this person is running the machine. Isn't it a pop? Excuse me, isn't it a thought pops in your mind? But no, it's not a good way to think. The person is doing what the person is supposed to do. You are doing what you are supposed to do. And remember something, a little bit of noise. Remember something, a little bit of noise is not going to change what you are feeling. If you detach yourself from the noise. Noise, is this bad? No, noise is not bad. Is it good? Noise is not good. Good or bad are the titles. It's a phenomena happening, good or bad. The words are the title that you attach afterwards. And then you think about good and bad. Now this becomes judgment. This becomes a trait in you. A trait. You have attached a trait with something which is not real. So something which is not real, abusing something which is real. Real is you basically. This moment is real, this present moment. You see. So don't get agitated if something is happening in the surrounding. Your liberty and your freedom is still intact. That how you react to the certain situation. Lord Shiva said, how people act to you is their karma, and how you react to it would generate you. I hope you are following me. Lord Shiva said that how people act to you is their karma, but how you react to that action, it would generate your karma. So keep that in mind. That's a brilliant statement, by the way. Somebody is doing their work, let them do it. You detach yourself from within, you detach yourself from inside, and because remember something, in early stage meditation, excuse me, in early stage meditation is not about focusing on one thing. I would say fundamental state, it's about defocusing from everywhere, from your surroundings, defocusing from the noise, defocusing if something is making you agitated or something like that. Defocus from everywhere is the easiest thing to do because it's your fundamental state. There is no effort that you have to put even. Okay. Okay. Totally amateur, no pretending. When you become when you become totally authentic, when when you get rid of the lies and everything you see in your life, you become totally authentic. You become totally amateur. You see,